and how the kernel talks to those. So I've been working on the home automation stuff, and then in the past I've done some robotics projects with this sort of thing. But I mean, the sky is really the limit, I think. There's quite a few people who are using these sort of things in drones now.
I'm thinking, especially for somebody that's just starting off on this, would there be any point in trying to just do the binary install just to kind of verify the board works?
Yeah.
Some idea how to hook it up?
Absolutely, yeah. So whenever I get a new board, I always download the binary image just to make sure everything should. Maybe don't go with an Intel Edison. And yeah, get to know the pool you're swimming in, and then from there you kind of have a baseline to compare your custom OS against. Like you know how you want it to work, but you also know what you want to strip away at that point.
That actually is a good thing.
I think it's a great thing to do. Yeah, yeah. I think starting from the beginning with just compiling your own image is just an exercise in masochism. I would do that.
How do you think the Intel Edison is going to change the game? Because like before it was only ARM architecture, and now, yeah.
It certainly is interesting. I think well, we're starting to see Windows actually. I know Microsoft is has a little bit better ARM support, but as far as x86 stock, I think really it just makes it more accessible, kind of like how Raspberry Pi's community made everything accessible. Not needing to have a cross-compiling environment set up is going to really enable a lot of regular C++ developers to write some code on their computer, SCP it over to their Edison, and have it work. So I think maybe it may not change the game so much as it might just accelerate development in a non-professional environment where people are don't have their awesome stuff set up.
How much are those boards?
This one is about 45. This one, off the top of my head, I think is $20. So that's the nice thing too, is they're cheap. So if you're thinking about putting it into a product, obviously money's going to be a little bit of a concern. This Edison right here, I should mention that the Edison is actually just this guy. And so you buy an Edison and you only get this. You don't get a board. This is $50, and it has, I'll take it out so you guys can see the connector, but, well, or not. This thing right there that you can barely see has more than 40 pins on it. That's a connector. So
your connector is not a QFP?
No, it's an edge connector. So you're not doing anything with that without getting a board. So you gotta buy the board. So there's this board right here. This one sells for $70. Now the bummer about this board is all the I/O is still 1.8 volts. And if you were to ask me the question, what can you connect to something with 1.8 volt I/O? The answer is nothing. So this board really is like useful for you putting it to another board or just getting it onto a breadboard. So it kind of is not fun. Now there's this board right here for the Edison. This one sells for I think like 120 or so, and this actually does have the built-in level shifters on it. So if you're going to play with the Edison, I would definitely recommend getting the full one. I think they call this the Arduino board. It has an Arduino compatible pinout on it right here. Intel actually did something interesting with the Edison where they put a Quark microcontroller next to the sock and then made some weird bus between it so that you can actually load like Arduino sketches on it. I haven't messed around with that because for my applications, I just want to use the sock, but that's there if it's something you want to try. It's still unfortunately from all the Arduino stuff is emulated in the OS. So you're not going to get good timing like you would on the normal Arduino. So like I wouldn't really expect to make a servo controller with an Edison. The Edison can control the servo controller, but yeah.
So one last question: when for your project, your automation project,
Yeah.
so you don't plan to go to mass market. So why did you decide to go this route instead to go like on the buy? So
Well, I do plan to go to mass market
okay.
eventually.
Okay.
So yeah, along that lines too, like one thing that really helps if you're getting into this and you want to actually like make a product is to try and think a little bit differently about what things are. So a lot of these systems on a chip, they're not going to have Wi-Fi, they're not going to have Bluetooth, and you're thinking like, well, I don't want to have like a USB port on there with a dongle on it because that'd be hideous. So this is actually a USB wireless adapter, but all it is little pads. And so you can set those pads down on a custom board. And now, as far as like looking at it inside Linux, it's an actual USB wireless adapter to the kernel. Same with Bluetooth. This is a little Bluetooth adapter that you would do the same thing with. Serial driver problems. No driver problems. Yeah. So seamless to the OS.
Where are you sourcing all these parts? Are you just scanning everywhere, or Adafruit, or?
Adafruit is absolutely great. You can actually often get stuff cheaper than they do if you're willing to go Alibaba or even eBay. I got these. This is a pretty common Bluetooth module. It's a HC06. There's also HC05. So I would honestly recommend eBay. It is good for this stuff. Yes, it actually is as cheap as it looks. It's not like marked down and stuff. When it's just not in like a pretty package, is dirt cheap.
These are the ones that come from Hong Kong and take 6 weeks to get here?
Yeah, exactly. It's actually been faster lately. I've been getting like 3 weeks, which is pretty cool. Now, on the other hand, I don't know if anyone's heard of an Arduino Yun before, but it's this weird Arduino kind of thing.
Yeah, you would have heard about it. Ralph Quinn did a full Arduino presentation and even talked about the roadmap.
Nice.
About a year ago. No, by the way, Ralph Quinn will be speaking at. There's an embedded systems track at Scale on the Friday, I think, February 20th, too. By the way.
So also depending on what you're trying to do, that might greatly influence which module you buy. So this guy right here, this is called a Dragino AG, and what's special about this one is it comes preloaded with OpenWRT. It has 2 hardware Ethernet ports and Wi-Fi port. Wow. So one thing that immediately comes to mind that a lot of people have, been wanting is like, if you wanted to make that elusive Tor bridge, this would be the guy you'd pick to make that device. So the market is huge, and it's kind of a really exciting time in the world, I think, to try and make things. I can't think of. Even 5 years ago, all this stuff was more in the realm of microcontrollers, and if you're not an electrical engineer who studied that particular field, there's no way you had a chance of doing anything. But now, with a little bit of elbow grease, there's really a lot that's out there, and the Linux knowledge helps immensely. If you have any more questions, we can take a look at some of the stuff.
Yeah, you had some stuff to demo?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Can we, hey, Carolyn, can you hit the lights?
It'll take me a second.
More lights?
Yeah, more lights. You may want to move. We should move your camera over there too.
Oh, okay.
Cause you're done with the slides, right?
Yeah, we're done with slides.
Okay. Just turn them. Yeah, just house lights are good.
Not the Senate lights.
Yeah.
So I got battery now.
Yeah, I just keep it plugged in just in case. There's a network crash. I think the network dropped or something, and because this is where I started the hangout from, and I forgot to plug in the power, and it crashed, but the hangout was still streaming. But that's 10 minutes after the laptop came out, it stopped. Yeah, very weirdly lame. So I could stream through my phone, but then, what if I get it out of the, keep off the cell phone tower? It's kind of a tough decision.
So, Mike, are we going to be able to see, or do you need us to huddle around?
You're gonna probably need to huddle around in a second. Let me just get it set up real quick. Okay. So this is the bus driver here.
Which one have you wired up first?
Yeah. So this is the bus pirate right here, and it's going to act as our serial interface into viewing what's actually coming out of this chip. So in reality, this is like super overkill for this, but it's a really, really great tool. So you can hit M here. These are all the different protocols that you can do with the bus pirate. Unwire, UART, we need to use this directly control LCD. So right now, just to be clear what's going on, this is output from the menu onto here. So what we're going to do is use this as a UART bridge. Just in general with Linux, the I/O redirection for standard out to serial, you want to do it at the highest baud rate so you don't see laggy keystrokes and nastiness like that. So we'll configure it 9. That's fine at default. It's fine at default. And then we want that to not be open drain. So, oh shoot, sorry. So this is bridge mode. So now it's just as if I have a serial port connected directly from here to here. We can totally ignore this device now. And so let's go ahead and power this on. So generally speaking, if you're using a power supply like this, there's a lot of electromagnetic stuff going on in here. I'd highly recommend turning the power supply on before connecting it to your device, so that if there's any sort of a spike, your device isn't going to take the brunt of that. So power it on. And we're at 3.3 volts, so we're looking good. So we should see what comes up. So that's U-boot right there. So we can stop this and see various help commands. So this is all from within the bootloader here. So you can pixie boot with all this stuff. You can configure the network at this level. It's actually like a very small operating system. It's way more than what we think of as like Grub or
Can it read a file system?
Yeah. You can read a file system. I don't know if you're going to get more than just looking at blocks, though. You're not going to get like an LS.
No.
Yeah. You can read the file system.
Not like OpenBoot that could actually read the file.
I don't think so. I think run default.
Grub can read the file system.
So let me just boot. I haven't played around with that too much. I might be mistaken.
No, you are not able. I played a round.
With U-boot?
Yeah, with the boot, and
okay.
you are not able to.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't have much time to polish this kernel. It was like, oh, so notice this. That's fascinating. So as we're booting up, we can see the amount of current required changing.
Initializing the different onboard peripherals.
It's doing a bunch of stuff. And so we should see that stabilize a bit.
Brandon just reminded me of a question I had actually. Do you ever set up swap partitions or swap files on these things? I know it goes against all your instincts that you should be swapping on Flash, but when you have absolutely no alternative, I find myself setting up swap on Raspberry Pis just because what's the alternative? It crashes, right? It will have to, out of memory, the killer will kick in and kill something without asking you what.
Yeah.
So it's kind of an icky situation. I don't know if you're using swap with these. I guess as long as you control the memory footprint.
Yeah, for what I'm doing, I'm trying to not use swap, but if you have to, then you have to. I mean, no, that's a situation though where if you got a device and your OS is on NAND, maybe have a sacrificial SD card swap, because it is going to die, and much rather the one you can replace than your built-in one.
That's honestly what I like.
And so now we're complete. Sorry, that was X starting up. I have this one configured. Normally I have an LCD for the touchscreen connected to this. And so now that we've booted, it's basically stabilizing right there. And so, yeah.
But if you start reading and writing I/O, is that going to change it?
Yeah, it would definitely change it. I don't know if I have
Like an Ethernet transceiver.
any good benchmarking here.
Just mine some Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly.
Or launch email.
Yeah, let's see that. Yeah, you just boot it to another operating system.
If you don't, in Vivek, if you don't actually add Bash as an extra package, you will end up with just BusyBox. And so actually with the Edison by default, you'll end up with only BusyBox. And so that's kind of, I would not recommend looking at the forum too much for the Edison. Go with your Linux knowledge. Go with the fact that it uses OPKG system. There's a lot, for the Edison, there's a lot of packages that are out there, so getting Bash on it is actually relatively trivial. It just won't seem like that if you read their support forum. Their support forum, people are like pitching hissy fits. So now, let me go ahead and shut this down. And I want to see if I can show you guys.
With the Edison, can you actually boot off the SATA board?
With this one? Yeah. The Linuxino? Yeah.
Yes. I spent like 3 hours trying to get the Raspberry Pi to boot off USB before I learned that it's not possible.
And that's one of those things that, like, why wasn't, who said it wasn't possible?
No, the default bootloader won't let you.
Oh, okay, that's what I was getting at. You could recompile a U-boot probably and do it, but that's a can of worms you're opening.
So I'm going to spend 5 more hours on that.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You had to tell a lot of these things.
You had mental peace, and now it is really.
Exactly.
I wouldn't recommend it with the Raspberry Pi. It's the whole point of it is that it's like community easy kind of.
There's links on the meetup site.
So what I want to do now,
Oh, it's right here.
this guy, the Bus Pirate,
Email me.
actually has its own power supply in it, but it's really weak. So we should see some interesting bad stuff happen. Unfortunately,
You ever just get freezes where you don't even get the benefit of a panic? I've seen that happen a few times.
Did you
I
overclock
haven't
it?
seen that. No, I don't.
No, just from undercurrent, rounding it up.
And I had a Raspberry Pi that I actually killed. It's only slightly overclocked. But it just stopped working.
So they allow you to overclock it as long as it's in the right environment.
Wow.
And keep it cold. I mean,
We're fine for like a year and a half.
I was reading this at one time.
And it didn't. You never know that the overclocking killed it.
probably not.
No autopsy. Oh no, it took me like 2 years of Bitcoin mining to kill that at 5770.
So you're gonna have a second. I want to make sure that's the right wire.
Probably a good idea. before.
It's either 5 volts or 3.3, and if it's 5,
Then
it'll pop.
just-
I have a guy. Yeah.
It's not labeled on the board? No, it would be on the bus there.
USB. Have you ever had to travel with all this and just the TSA appreciate it?
They don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think it all looks the same under an X-ray.
Yeah, inside is.
You gotta check the power supply. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah, right.
Doesn't everybody?
Come on. Sorry about this.
I've gotten hassled by TSA for having too many cell phones.
Clearly, if you have more than one, it means you're a drug dealer.
Oh yeah. Couldn't possibly be on call.
Yeah, well, I
Weird.
did. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, I mean, I've done.
You have 5. Means you're a professional cell phone developer, right?
They didn't print it on the back of the bus card.
Android.
Or, yeah.
I would've-
Smartphone
I would've-
stuff is usually really
I
good
would've
about
thought-
that. Oh, yeah.
Especially if it's like, well,
Right.
See, patience, right? You see
Actually,
it.
there's only 2 of them.
Yeah.
Applications, places.
Yeah, it's confusing too because a lot of different places sell it, different sells it, smartphone sells it, and it all uses.
Hey, no worries, man.
They don't label it on the back.
Everything's at the actual.
Oh yeah. They're great. They have a lot of stuff. That's actually where I got these guys. Now the company that manufactures those, they even released the schematics for their breakout boards. So like, I'll etch my own boards. And I was actually emailing the owner of the company the other day about collaborating on a project, and they're just super helpful. Really cool.
That's the whiteboard.
Yeah, this thing, there's this thing called Arduino Yun, and that's basically the only. This is the Yun. The Yun is just shared with old Arduino. It's not an Arduino.
So it doesn't have the Omega.
So it does. There's a weird. It's called Fermata, and it's an Arduino standard for relaying information. Standard firmware that you flash onto like an AVR that lets you send a command like from a library in a Linux OS to an AVR device. So now you're actually coding only in Linux. You're not actually downloading code onto the Arduino. That's kind of how the Yun works. You get what I mean?
It's a standard library for an Arduino to read I/O, general purpose I/O ports on an AVR.
Yeah, exactly. So that's great, right? If you
How would
want
they
to
be connected?
serial. So that's really awesome because like I don't like hooking I/O typically. Like if I'm controlling a motor or something, I do not want that connected anywhere remotely to my computer. So I'll use like a microcontroller to control that, send data
Give
to
you a little
that.
isolation.
Serial.
Cheap isolation.
Well, and what you can also do is this is called opto isolators. So that's yeah.
Then you don't have the feedback. Right?
Yeah, then when the motor, when someone grabs the motor or whatever, you're fine.
Or if you're doing RF. then
Yeah.
it's doing I/O.
I mean,
The day I did it yesterday, like I did before.
Do you have a clear favorite? Like I can't max out my megabit.
I like the Lomax, yeah. I mean, for what I'm doing. If you want to just have some fun and do some stuff,
I
fast,
get it.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm already sold on the rest.
This Bulgarian for it. I couldn't even what is it? So many pins. How many irons?
I forget, but it's a ton. It's an
Yeah,
absolute
that's a lot of
ton.
breakouts. And it's loads.
Yeah. They sell cables though. It's basically just a mini
It'll do
idea.
5 volt TTL though.
I don't want to say for sure it'll at least do 3.3. Most things now are actually changing to be 3.3. 5 volt is kind of being
Both
phased
for
out.
most things you need.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I found like GPSs that only want to do 3.3, but you can find anything for 5. Even if it's a bigger, older.
Strange. I don't quite get it. Because if you had a higher voltage, then that means your power should be more efficient. You should have like less current going through.
No, higher voltage, then the difference between the voltages is higher, which means that
I took forever to get my
basically
movies
having
on.
to push more electrons.
Should I?
Simplified and wrong way of saying it. So, another way of saying it is, because you have the higher voltages, you're gonna have to, put on the circuit panel, put the lines farther apart.
All right, you know what? Because it's
Or the regulators start jumping between. So on the lowest voltage you can, so you can go to the higher power density.
So when I tried this before, I didn't. This is actually two boards connected to each other here. That has a Wi-Fi and a few other things on it. Right now, our power supplies are so weak on this. This is actually sucking all the current away from this, and this is saying, "Hey, look, I think there's a short circuit because I got nothing."
You need a
So
USB.
I can't show that.
Yeah, for my Raspberry
Ben
Pi,
probably
I
has
use
a hub.
USB.
Actually,
Oh, you know, here's what we can try.
didn't you have a hub?
Let me try power. Let's try power to the projector on and hub would it help?
A power hook.
A power hub?
No. The power supply on the
actually projecting.
there's a 3.3 volt regulator on here. It's taking 5 volts from the USB cable, and that's what
The old one gets its own power.
yeah. But I can
do with that
but
USB.
I can do that, and I think that on the go connector on there was when we used it before. It's ugly, but
On my download box.
Where's Olamix?
exactly.
It actually gets powered off the external
Oh,
box.
this one from Steven.
Plug a power thing.
Hey, we're still streaming, so don't reveal too much.
Let's see.
Say my intersection.
Yeah.
Let's see if this crashes. So the other day, this wasn't working.
That's what I meant by USB.
Live crash.
I'm thinking this will be Chrome.
Using the sun
Even when I
turn.
bumped them down to 720, when
Well, I was trying it on a. I haven't had problems with. I was trying this on a different image last week, and maybe the internet sequence is going to be more tolerant of this.
are you using
Finding it unusable.
So what are you booting? What is that? It's just another.
It's actually.
Wow.
It shouldn't matter.
The codecs are usually H264. It's just like the protocol.
The container, like, if you're burning a lot of CPU on the
Take it to Ubucon at
That's a
scale.
really crappy container library.
And the trash guy.
Oh, it actually worked. Huh.
MP4.
Interesting.
I think I had similar problems, but I
So-
A few
ended
more
up
milliamps.
ended up being
There must be
my,
something in the way that the image I built, the way the modules are getting loaded, that it just stresses out, and the Ubuntu one didn't. But
It could also be right on the line where it becomes like a matter of
yes.
timing or very specifics to your power.
Exactly. Yeah. So, or maybe
for me, I had
the
so much
regulator
stuff.
should take care of it.
Have to turn on the knob.
And like
Yeah.
so
Temperature.
long
Oh yeah.
that-
Yeah.
Cosmic rays.
just
Yes,
being
the
able
solar
to-
flares.
to, like, draw
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in this ecosystem. Fairly exciting.
So what other toys did you bring? Did you show all your pieces?
Not yet. So we can play with another thing.
See,
I
Remove the library functionality. and just
So
go
do
back
you
to
see
using
Linux
a raw
as a
file
leader,
manager.
like fast, like with some BSD flavor, or
Really, you only see what I've seen. You only see BSD on routers.
okay?
So like you got like your, you know, like your Juniper devices,
Yeah, yeah.
all that's just all BSD. So like
Yeah.
any real router seems to be BSD. I'm not a BSD guy, so I can't really offer as to why. I think other than it's just the way it's been.
It's just the community is smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
And routers really like PS.
But now that I got
Yeah,
it,
all the BSDs now, yes.
Oh, okay.
That is the firewall manager. So a few more questions.
that's also my every server.
So
When you chose the one with the x86, was that a factor?
no, I was arbitrarily told.
You were thinking I want to run Windows on this?
I was arbitrarily told you will use this,
Oh,
and I
okay.
fought it from the beginning, and it's ended up with some really bad repercussions, which
I
was
can only
basically
The
the.
Raspberry Pi.
It wasn't that not having support is bad. It was that starting out thinking you were going to have support, and then realizing into it that all their tool chains are broken, or their whatever little documentation they have is inherently wrong. So we actually got on the phone with Intel, and so like for electronic stuff, if you're working on a project, it's really easy to get an application engineer to sign you. Someone who knows a little bit about the chip can give you a reference for design, just someone to be a contact. So we actually called Intel, and they started out the conversation by telling us that, okay, really the only reason we're having this conversation is we want to let you guys know that you're not going to get any support from us, and we're never going to help you. And we're like, okay, but like you're marketing materials. Clearly says like you're trying to like empower the revolution of the internet, and like provide this thing for people to start businesses on. And so I end up telling them, I'm like, look guys, your stuff doesn't work. Fundamentally, when I follow your documentation, I get things that are broken. And so if I don't have the resources to go to an application engineer who knows what's going on, then how do you expect anyone to actually take you guys seriously?
But they got some guy in Taiwan who doesn't speak English. It's not going to be able to help.
It gets better. So I'm on the phone with an application engineer, and the guy says to me, he's like, look, I'm an application engineer. I have to support over 100,000 of Intel's products, so I don't know anything about the other. And it's like, okay, well, what do you have to do? What do I have to do for you to put me in contact with someone who does know what's up? And they're like, well, to be honest, like we can't really continue this conversation unless you're looking at more than 1 million units a year. So if you're at 1 million units a year, then maybe we might be able to possibly get someone who could maybe help you.
And there a moment there where you were thinking maybe the open source community Raspberry Pi solution would have been worth its steps?
Oh, this is where I was thinking that we should have gone with one of these things all along, where there's no pretense of support, and it's just, you know, full wild west, not like expecting corporate level professionals.
But to go with the mainstream of Raspberry Pi,
it wouldn't be
so many issues. And you're not saying anything to let you take the.
I was battling a space constraint.
The same chip.
Oh, you
It's a space issue.
I don't want to ruin it, but
Space issue. That's why the chips
the
went
long and
at
short of it
the
is,
Edison had a hard
when they
set on
generated their keys,
for designing their product, and it's space for you.
Okay.
So.
So they were able to balance the equations.
But yeah, that's sort of my experience with Intel.
What kind of automation product is it?
Well, let's just see if they
Okay.
did
Yeah,
this.
we're streaming.
But yeah,
Yeah, they had
Few tracks in it first.
Yeah, right. You got to go over to Wild
but yeah,
Wings.
no, so it was really discouraging. But now the Intel had the Galileo before they did Edison.
Yeah.
So the backstory of that is they actually contracted out this tiny 10-man shop in Ireland.
Like almost 3 years.
And so when doing some digging for an Ubuntu image for this, I found that that same Irish shop
It went
made
down
an
like
Ubuntu
within
image for
3 or
this,
4 days.
but Intel's claiming 100% responsibility for Edison. I strongly suspect Intel contracted out that Irish team to make the Edison. Intel made all the marketing material, pushed it out, and no one has any idea what's going on. That's what it feels like. I don't know that for sure, but
That was the original.
Conspiracy theory.
They have a lot of marketing on it, and I know a lot of people. I know actually, I have dinner on Saturday with few people who are playing the episode. So I'm very interested to check what they say because
And then you
and it's unfortunate because it's not a bad piece of hardware. It's just their launch. So I'm not hating on the device, but just don't like expect the community to be amazing. And, like they give you a link where you can download the OS version, all the BitMake products. They actually, rather than like doing regular patches, they were doing some weird janky like Git patching thing that was causing issues and not working. And so I'm trying to just run all that documentation. Doesn't compile. We posted on their forum. 2 weeks later, someone from Intel was like, "Oh shoot, we were doing our patches wrong. We should have done it like this."
It seems
So, and so, dude, that is not community support.
It seems really analogous to the systems administrator experience. Like if you had to choose between Linux, Solaris, and BSD, given an application, you could say one would be better. But in reality, you're going to say, well, Solaris with all its support, you may not like the support you get as much as having the entire Linux community, millions of people dealing with it. And you may say, well, actually, this one thing BSD might do better. BSD, let's say. But I would still prefer to do it on Linux simply to not escape that wonderful comforting community of millions of people that would help.
The crowdsourcing rules all.
And that was the issue, is you have this illusory community that was given wrong information from the get-go. So like it's basically the blind leading the blind.
You just do the Google search for the thing and see how many results you get off Edison versus Raspberry
Google
Pi.
Fight. They have a Google Fight for platforms.
So they don't search engine optimize their stuff well at all. So I'm trying to find the latest set of recipes. And I'm gonna do a blog post about it for a while, but it literally took me 40 minutes trying to figure out which was the latest one and where to find it. And so all of their updates, they post them in a community at Purple Wiki. They don't have like an official page that's just like
Edison.com.
You know, what I'm saying is they don't have like a URL that's like current release. It's just like specific different pages. There's no consistency in the name. So you can't just go to one page and always find the current release at the top. Like, you know, everyone.
I think circa 1992, actually.
It's such a nightmare.
Whenever you have a geeky project first start up, they're too busy to work on documentation. So.
Yeah, but rather than hating on it,
They figure if you're working on it, you already know this.
That's true. Because they're trying to make it seem that in reality, you've got to
Apple has software, but they'll only enable it on Apple Drive. If you have a third party like Samsung SSD in your Mac, the only way you can get trim enabled is if you install a third party client driver, and then you have to disable driver sign. So if you're using a 10.5 the sign drivers, allegedly a security improvement was actually for was to stop the hack. Because if they actually would have, if they actually wanted to do this, they would have fixed the boot chain, but they didn't. It's just this driver sign thing, just like a hack. So now you have to disable that if you want it, which costs all kinds of other things. So I used to turn on. So I installed SSD drives. I turn on those. I can't because it breaks.
The OMX is Bulgaria.
What is this? What is this card?
That, you know.
That's OMX as well.
It's electrically powered from Bulgaria.
Hey, Ludo.
Grab it.
Man, I saw the funniest thing.
He was handing a cable.
Somebody brought in
He had long arms.
They give you all the schematics
No,
for all this
Lewis.
stuff, and so it's be relatively easy to just have your own custom board. Like movie.
So now they have
How do you like it? What is the name? It was still Linux, L-I-N-E-X.
I'm like,
Okay.
there's no good thing.
I can send an email.
Oh,
Okay. Are you on the?
Yes, yes.
I'll send an email. Okay. Some of my resources.
I wanted to Jake.
Oh, yes.
I first met your brother. Is electrically powered? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And isn't the free software song from Bulgaria too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Is it?
Let's sing it.
I thought it was. Don't do that. I thought it was.
I don't know. It's some German or
Finland.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
I don't. We'll have to look that up. Oh, you don't know the free software song?
That's correct. The Torvalds song.
For us. He'll start us. Come on now.
I think we better join us now.
Join us now.
So, yes, Richard Stallman is never coming here. You don't invite him. I'm sure he will come.
Yeah, I think it comes to scare.
That's why I'm really pissed
No, he does. He's not in. Last time I heard he was in L.A. was like at least 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even more.
Once a year he's coming to Paris, and
Yeah.
each time he does this,
So well, he just spoke at CCC in Germany. So and that's streaming. I watched. He did his free. It's a great talk.
It won't go anywhere that they call it Linux.
No, yeah, it's GNU Linux. Yeah.
Yeah. So it won't go to scale for Southern California Linux. It'd have to be Skaggle.
Yeah.
Southern California GNU Linux.
But I don't think he makes it out here too much either. I don't think he's in LA because he spoke at USC. I think he spoke at a couple places, but it was like that was a long time ago. And I think I would hear about it. Yeah.
Yes, since I moved here, I never heard about him to be here.
Yeah.
East Coast versus West Coast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beef.
People in the Midwest just lose out.
I upgraded today.
So you just get flown over.
And it forced us. I tried to not do it.
So can you make it do something cool, like you have a blinky LED?
Oh, it was.
Oh, is it just a command line?
You gotta bring a servo so you can hear see something move.
Yes.
I could probably compare it to your
You can't see the electrons moving around? The
Yeah, I wanna
electrons
see
are moving
them,
around.
yeah.
Look, no, you can see them. Can you see them? Or maybe that's me.
So you're trying to
Never had
put
that
Edison
power.
now?
Yeah, I'm trying to boot the Edison.
Right. I can feel the slight changes in magnetic fields.
At some level, I guess we all
It's sort of.
Yeah.
It's really hard to even get it inserted on the properly.
It's an actual body that's done. Problem is you don't ever want to go into
pick up your keys. You just.
It's kind of exciting.
You don't want to have
Maybe it's gonna run on some raspberry Pi.
see if this is you want to not have
Definitely
it.
not better.
If you have a magnet,
Yeah.
figure it's not.
Is there anything with Barrett right now?
Yes, their implementation of that is fine.
Come on, boot.
Boot, baby, boot.
They can never get it out. So this
Can't do it, Captain. I haven't got the
So
power.
did you do some benchmarks on
We need another
third of a care about much about performance?
I haven't done it.
Trigger QR welder.
Performance is gonna. I'm not really concerned.
Yeah, for what you
Yeah.
do, yeah.
I'll benchmark it once I have it.
Cannot boot.
Yeah, thanks for that, but we're not gonna go with the products first.
Give it the good juice.
It's going to tear it right
Yeah,
out.
by the way, we have a new operating system called Doors.
Yeah, it was a surgery to make one of these, but it will.
Look, a blinky light.
All right.
It just changed.
This board is also really, really picky about when you're soldering to it. I noticed that
You don't want to freeze that.
This is not a factory.
Hey!
Okay.
No password on root? Are you kidding me?
Can you
I'm
show
hacking in at
the
this box.
hog CPU info with the Edison? How does it look?
My character's on a screen.
Yeah, look. Very familiar.
And I remember, they're like, oh no, we can't do that. If anyone saw just how bad Windows was, it was a disaster.
Yeah.
So they're like, we can't because there's sort of stuff.
9x.
Oh, cat in a more.
Control A escape, you are inside screen.
Was that the one where like 2 weeks later China said we're not using them unless we let a single source code into the
Yeah.
I think that was 7, actually. Oh, there you go.
Or no, I think
Yay.
China's done it a couple of times. Every couple of years, they're like, maybe we'll buy your stuff again. Let me take a look at it.
First, even showing it to them, you didn't have that change. You were showing it. Find a vulnerability.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
So I'm disappointed by what you said about the Edison, you know. I expected more.
I mean, on the other hand,
yeah.
Well, you know, you just get it from other platforms, that's all.
I know about that.
So it comes with this thing called RF kill by default that
Okay.
disables all the radios on
Yeah.
it so that it's not just like promiscuous
Yeah.
device.
I think
What we can do is do
$35
kill
you can like,
RF.
and it's for UAD presently. I don't know when they actually release it. It's well,
So it was in the
actually,
if you
Let me see what I might have some
you
code
call
on
it
here.
your root. Now you can. I was saying, well, when it was released, they
Yeah, with this, the first thing to basically do is activate, edit the sources for the package manager, get bash on it, like this box. And then you can go ahead and start to install some stuff.
And so today, do you have some companies providing a package with the Edison and like? Oh, I'm sure that
Smartphone is
okay, smartphone.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, yeah.
Now, Smartphone was actually nice enough to send me the schematics for their board, but the issue still is like soldering that connectors and stuff. So
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
What's a good way to go about that, other than to like to a company
Yeah.
to do it for me.
Yeah.
Cool. So, hey, we should probably knock it on the head. Hey, thank you very much, Michael, for an awesome presentation and then good demo stuff. So we'll be meeting at the Santa Monica Cloud Computing meetup in Santa Monica next month, and then probably back here for either a chef or some other talk. So see you then, and see you at Scale. Bye.
And how about a round of applause for Carolyn and Q?
Oh yes, another round of applause here and Q.
So if anybody really wants to say thank you, we actually need newsletter contributors for our upcoming newsletters. And then if anybody wants to be on our newsletter list, let me know. It's actually really interesting. It's always written by somebody in the tech community about something interesting. There's really no parameters other than that. So if you want to kind of get your name out there and you'll say that you did it or whatever, you just want to help me out, definitely it's like 300 to 500 words, super small, on anything you want. So just let me know if anybody's interested. All right, you guys all at Scale.
Yes.
Were you? But just can't make the content.
Yes.
Says the man who has a Wikipedia page about it.
All right, we're done.